They say revenge is a dish best served cold, but in my kitchen, I prefer to serve it searing hot, with a side of humiliation. My name is Alina. I am the executive chef and owner of Obsidian, one of the only Michelin-starred restaurants in Chicago. My life is controlled chaos: fire, knives, shouting, and the pursuit of perfection. I built this place from the ground up. I created the menu, I designed the interior, and I earned the reputation. My husband, Marcus, was the general manager. He was the face of the restaurant. Charming, handsome, always wearing a bespoke suit. He handled the guests, the wine lists, and the finances. I handled the food. It was a perfect partnership. Or so I believed. The cracks started to appear in November, right before the holiday rush. It started with inventory. In a kitchen like mine, inventory is religion. Every gram of caviar, every ounce of saffron is accounted for. One Tuesday night, I was doing a spot check in the walk-in pantry. I was looking for the Alba white truffles I had imported from Italy. They cost $4,000 a pound. The logbook said we had 500 grams left. The box was empty. I called Marcus. He was in the front of house, pouring wine for a VIP table. Marcus, where are the truffles? He didn't miss a beat. Oh, didn't I tell you? The health inspector came by, said the seal was broken. I had to toss them. Safety first, babe. It was a smooth lie. Too smooth. A health inspector wouldn't care about a truffle box seal unless it was rotting, and Marcus would never throw away $2,000 worth of product without screaming about the cost. But I was tired. I let it slide. 2 weeks later, it was the wine. A bottle of 1982 Chateau Margaux was missing from the cellar. Value $1,200. Marcus's excuse? A waiter dropped it. I fired him on the spot. I didn't want to stress you out. I started to feel a sickness in my stomach that had nothing to do with food poisoning. I stopped asking Marcus. I started watching. Obsidian has cameras everywhere, not just in the kitchen, but in the office, the wine cellar, and the back alley. Marcus controlled the security feed passwords, but he forgot that I paid the installation company. I reset the admin password one night after service when Marcus said he was doing payroll, and I went home. I logged in from my laptop in my cold, empty bed. I fast-forwarded through the footage of the office. I saw Marcus sitting at the desk, but he wasn't doing payroll. He was with Chloe. Chloe was our new hostess, 22 years old, blonde, bubbly. I had hired her because she seemed eager to learn. On the screen, she was sitting on Marcus's lap. They were drinking the dropped Chateau Margaux straight from the bottle. They were laughing, kissing, and then I watched Marcus open the safe. He took out a stack of cash, the tips for the kitchen staff, and shoved it into Chloe's purse. He said, "Buy yourself those earrings." The audio was crisp. I sat there in the dark, watching my husband steal from my cooks to pay for his mistress. The betrayal was double. He wasn't just cheating on me. He was stealing from the restaurant. He was stealing from the business that was my soul. I didn't cry. Chefs don't cry. We burn and we adapt. I closed the laptop. I needed a plan. I couldn't just fire them. If I fired Marcus, he would sue for half the restaurant in the divorce. He handled the books. He could hide the embezzlement evidence before a forensic accountant got there. No, I needed him to confess, and I knew exactly how to do it. The next day, I walked into the kitchen with a smile. I looked Marcus in the eye and kissed him on the cheek. "Good news," I said, chopping shallots with rhythmic precision. "We have a VIP reservation for Sunday night, a private tasting." "Sunday? We're closed on Sundays," Marcus said, frowning. "Not for this guy. It's Antoine LeBlanc." Marcus's eyes widened. Antoine LeBlanc was a legendary angel investor from France. Rumor had it he was looking to invest $5 million in a Chicago restaurant. "He wants a private tasting menu," I lied. "Just 4 people. Me, you, him, and he requested the head hostess be present to answer questions about service standards." "Chloe?" Marcus asked, trying to hide his excitement. "Yes, Chloe. He's very particular about front-of-house staff." Marcus grinned. He saw dollar signs. He saw a massive investment that he probably could skim from. "I'll set it up," he said. "This is huge, Alina. We're going to be rich." "We sure are," I whispered as he walked away. For the next 3 days, I prepared the menu. Usually, a tasting menu is a journey of flavor. This menu was a journey of their sins. I named it The Anatomy of Deceit. I sent the staff home on Sunday afternoon. I told them I wanted to handle this dinner personally, just me, the food, and the investors. Sunday night arrived. The dining room was dark, lit only by candles on a single center table. I set the table for 3. Marcus arrived in his best tuxedo. Chloe arrived wearing a dress that was far too expensive for a hostess salary, paid for with my stolen truffles, no doubt. They looked nervous but excited. "Where is Monsieur Leblanc?" Marcus asked, checking his watch. I walked out of the kitchen wearing my pristine white chef coat. I was holding a bottle of wine. "He's running late," I said smoothly. "His assistant called. He said to start without him. He wants us to experience the food first and tell him about it when he arrives for dessert." Marcus hesitated. "That's weird. He's eccentric," I said. "Sit, drink." I poured them the wine. It was a cheap supermarket blend I had decanted into an expensive bottle. "This is exquisite," Chloe said, pretending to know about wine. "It has notes of desperation," I said, smiling. I went back to the kitchen. It was time for the first course. I walked out with 3 plates. Course 1, the truffle lie. It was a single ravioli sitting in a pool of dark black sauce. "What is this?" Marcus asked. "Mushroom ravioli with a squid ink reduction and a dusting of what looks like white truffle but is actually shaved parsnip." Marcus froze. He looked at me. "Taste it," I commanded. He took a bite. "It tastes fake," he muttered. "Exactly," I said, leaning on the table. "Like the health inspector story. You know, truffles don't just disappear, Marcus. They get eaten, or sold." Marcus choked a little on his wine. Chloe looked confused. "I don't get it." "You will," I said. I cleared the plates. Course 2, the stolen green. I placed a salad in front of them. It was bitter greens, dandelion, kale, dressed with a vinaigrette of pure lemon juice, no oil. It was intensely sour. Garnishing the salad were strips of green paper, real dollar bills, cut into confetti. "Elena, what the hell is this?" Marcus stood up. "There's money in my salad." "It's the kitchen tips," I said calmly, "the ones you took from the safe last Tuesday. I thought since you love consuming my staff's money so much, you should eat it properly." Chloe gasped. She recognized the reference. She touched her diamond earrings nervously. I don't feel well," she said. "Sit down, Chloe," I snapped. My voice echoed in the empty restaurant. "We haven't gotten to the meat yet." Marcus was sweating now. "Elena, stop. You're acting crazy. Whatever you think you saw—" "I saw everything, Marcus. 1080p resolution, night vision, audio." I pulled a remote from my pocket and pointed it at the wall. The projector screen lowered. I clicked play. The video of them in the office played on the giant screen. Them kissing, him handing her the cash, him laughing about how blind I was. In the silence of the dining room, the video was deafening. Chloe started to cry. "I didn't know. He told me you were separated. He told me the restaurant was his. He lied to both of us. But you, Chloe, you knew he was married. You saw my ring. You saw my name on the menu. You just didn't care." Marcus slumped in his chair. The arrogance was gone. He looked small. "What do you want, Elena? You want a divorce? Fine. I'll take half. I built this front of house. I earned it." I laughed. It was a cold, sharp sound. "You think you're leaving with half? Marcus, you're not even leaving with your freedom." I went to the kitchen for the final course. I walked out with a silver platter covered by a dome. "Monsieur Leblanc isn't coming," I said, placing the platter in the center of the table, "because Monsieur Leblanc doesn't exist. I made him up, just like you made up the inventory logs." I lifted the dome. Underneath wasn't food. It was a stack of documents, blue folders, and on top, there were a pair of handcuffs. "These," I pointed to the folders, "are the forensic audit reports I commissioned 3 days ago. They prove you embezzled over $150,000 in the last year. Tax fraud, wire fraud, theft." Marcus stood up, knocking his chair over. "You can't prove that was me. I'll say you authorized it." "Page 45, I said calmly. "You forged my signature on the checks, but you used the wrong pen, and the timestamps on the security footage match the check withdrawals." "And the handcuffs?" Chloe asked, trembling. "Those are for the guests who are actually waiting outside."
I signaled to the front window. Blue and red lights flashed in the darkness. I had called the police 10 minutes ago, right before the salad course. 2 officers walked into the restaurant. They looked at the scene, the money in the salad, the video playing on the screen, the crying mistress. "Marcus Thorne?" the officer asked. "That's him," I said. "The man who stole from his wife, his staff, and the IRS." Marcus tried to bargain. "Alina, baby, please, we can work this out. I can pay it back." "With what money, Marcus? The money you spent on her earrings?" I looked at Chloe. "And you, Chloe, you're fired, obviously. But don't worry, you can keep the earrings. They'll be good evidence." The police cuffed Marcus. He looked at me one last time, his eyes full of hate. "You're a psycho," he spat. "You planned this whole dinner just to humiliate me?" "No," I said, picking up a truffle. "I planned this dinner to show you one thing.
I am the chef. You are just a waiter, and you just got served." They dragged him out. Chloe ran out after him, trying to explain herself to the cops, but they ignored her. I was left alone in my beautiful, silent restaurant. I sat down at the table. I poured myself a glass of the real 1982 Chateau Margaux, which I had hidden in my office. I took a sip. It tasted like victory. Oak, berries, and freedom. I didn't lose my restaurant. The audit proved the fraud was solely his. I sued him for damages, which wiped out any claim he had to the business in the divorce. He is currently serving 4 years for grand larceny and tax evasion. I hired a new manager, a woman this time. And Chloe? I heard she's working at a diner in Ohio. They say don't mix business with pleasure. I say don't mix theft with a chef. We know how to use knives, and we have a very high tolerance for heat. Ladies, if your husband starts working late and the inventory starts going missing, check the cameras and never, ever let them leave the table until they've paid the bill. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this savory tale of revenge, leave a comment below. What would you have served him for dessert? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories where the good guys win and the bad guys get what they deserve. Bon appetit.